Hi, my people. Hi, it's Monica. Okay, so I wanted to read this article that came out. It's like on Newsweek. If you Google it, it's like kind of popular right now. And the article is about a guy going on vacation with his girlfriend he had been with for 2 years and his family. And so I'll read the letter and then we'll just roll right in. It says, "Hello, my girlfriend, myself, my parents, and my brother and his wife all went on vacation in another country a week ago. Oh, how fun. My brother and I were the ones who did most of the planning of the itinerary, although we did ask everyone for their input. That's considerate. For background, I made around one for background, I make around 150,000 as an IT consultant. Okay. My girlfriend is a teacher making 45K or 45,000. My parents are pretty affluent as well as my brother and sister-in-law. Okay, so she's the one who's making the least money out of everybody. So I guess this is important. My girlfriend knew this trip was coming up and took on a second job waitressing on the weekends for several months to get ready for it. We have always split things 50-50 in the 2 years we have been together. There were a few times on the vacation when she did not go on outings with us, such as wine tasting, scuba diving, etc. Aw, that's not fun. She also would only eat 2 meals a day, simply stating that she was on a budget. My family does favor more high end, and he put it in quotations or parentheses, expensive places. My parents thought it was very strange that she only eats 2 meals a day, although normally she eats three. Okay, your parents haven't ever not had any money, or I mean, this is starting to sound really ridiculous. I mean, to be that privileged and not understand that everybody can't eat 3 times a day, and she's literally telling you she's on a budget. I mean, you're this sounds like some people are really out of touch. But anyway, when we get home, I asked her why she skipped out on several of the outings and only ate 2 meals a day. Okay, so you seem to be out of touch too, especially if this is your girlfriend for 2 years. But let me keep reading. I mentioned how I had heard her stomach growling one night and said I was concerned about her having an eating disorder. I'm trying. She got teary eyed and said that 3 meals a day wasn't fiscally feasible for her, and neither were. Oh, I gotta scroll down. Oh, I lost my place. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Wasn't fiscally feasible for her, and neither were the outings that she chose not to go on. She went on 3 of the 6 outings. Well, good for her that she was able to save enough money to do three. She said she was not expecting everything to cost so much and she was overwhelmed. She also said she doesn't know if this is going to work long term if she is expected to go on vacations like that with people who make so much more than her. I feel bad that I did not pick up on her discomfort sooner. But we did agree to split everything 50-50, and I don't know why she agreed to come if the cost was an issue. This is really sad. One, I'm sure you didn't mention any of your feelings towards her, but I guess if actions speak louder than words, we can kind of put two and two together. Um, but besides that, let's get to the money and the couple aspect of this. Um, Besides, I mean, we can talk about the humanistic aspect of it too. But and I think everybody's in agreement that this was not something that you should do to someone that you love and care about, right? You should be more considerate. You should be more aware. If somebody's stomach is growling and they're telling you they're on the budget, you should know that it's because maybe they don't have the money to have the third meal. It's interesting that even when that was said, nobody offered to, oh, you're on a budget, hey, let's split a plate. Or even if y'all didn't want to buy any food for her, hey, I could split half of my food with you. It's like, to me, I kind of want to talk to her and be like, honey, girlfriend, leave that. This should have been it for you. You should have never went on that vacation with him. This is probably indicative of his behavior, and this is showing you that you probably don't need to be with somebody who is so unaware and so out of touch that he doesn't know that if you make $45,000 a year and you're having to take on a second job to go on an elaborate vacation, that money doesn't fall out of the sky. I mean, he can't even do basic math. But anyway, let's go on to the money aspect in the relationship and the money aspect of this as a couple. A lot of time there's disparities, right, between couples and their money, and this happens for a lot of reasons. And I don't want to get into the big privilege debate and all that stuff, but it's disparity. It could be because of privilege, it could not be, whatever. But there are disparities. We're not going to get political because that's not what I'm here for. But let me say this, that sometimes when the disparities happen, it's in relationships. A lot of times women, or if you're like in a heterosexual relationship, a lot of times the woman often makes less than the man, even sometimes when they're in the same field. Sometimes, and sometimes it may be reversed. Sometimes the woman makes more than the man, but sometimes there's differences, just like with this couple, right? They're together, they're in a relationship, but he makes 3 times more because he makes 150 and she's making 45. So that's 3 times more than what, he's making. And so a lot of times when you are in these situations and you care about somebody and you feel like, okay, I don't want it to be where I'm doing, all the paying for stuff and stuff, and you feel, and I'm saying this because everybody does not feel this way, but if you feel like, okay, let's split everything, I want to have some division, or I want to share expenses. Okay, there's a difference between sharing expenses and 50-50. What this was is not sharing expenses, okay? This was because if 50-50, like say, we have an expense of $100 and, you say we're going to split it 50-50. If I split that amount and I'm only making $50, but you make $200, all my money is going to that expense and I have nothing left. And if we're sharing, that's not often fair. So I want to kind of talk about things that could have made this situation a lot better for this couple. One thing that could have made this a lot better is if she would have came forth and when he was doing all this planning, looked at what he was planning, been very aware of how much it was going to cost, and let him know, this is how much I can afford. So even if he was set on splitting something 50-50, one way it could have been done was, hey, let me minimize the cost of what we're doing so it can fit everybody's budget. So that may have meant that, okay, we can't, eat at certain restaurants all the time because it needs to fit everybody's budget. And that would have been a fair compromise. So if, he's planning maybe a $15,000 trip, maybe the trip needed to be maybe $3,000 or $4,000 if he wanted to split it. If he wanted her to just take care of her expenses and he take care of his, that would have been a fair way to do it. Another way to do it is some people are like, I like what I like. I'm used to this lifestyle. And so I don't want to downplay or minimize my lifestyle, or the choices I'm going to make because my partner may make less. So another way they could have done this is, okay, the expense, say it's 10,000. So you have the $10,000 trip. She makes 45,000 and he makes 150,000. They, if they both go together, so they put the shared expense. So say it costs 10,000 for them to go on this trip together. They would take that amount and divide it by their income. Okay? And that would give the percentage based off of their income of what they should have paid. So, because sometimes 50-50 is not fair. And, that's my dog barking. I'm talking. Sorry. But sometimes 50-50 is not fair. So, it's like kind of important that, because if I have to give everything that I have and sometimes that's still not enough, how is that fair? Especially for this lady. How was that a vacation for her when she was stressed out about money? She, it was almost like they were shaming her in a very passive aggressive way, asking her why she wasn't eating. And I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that if you're in the States, we all know teachers make a certain amount of money. I was a teacher for several years and made a certain amount of money, and it's difficult. It just saddens my heart that, this person was so unaware, or I don't know if he was pretending he was so unaware, but I was thinking this was very just not considerate. And then for his parents, everybody to sit there and eat and watch this person not eat at the table. I'm like, what type of people are these? I'm from the South. I don't know if y'all could tell by the way I talk or whatever. I'm from like the deep South. And there's like a rule in the South. Everybody eats. You come to the house, if people are cooking, it's just a common thing. If we're eating, usually everybody eats. We share food. We don't, it's a Southern thing. I don't know, if you come to my house and I'm cooking, I'm gonna offer you a plate. That's how we do it here. We don't eat in front of each other. If, in fact, that's, we probably eat a little too much, too much stuff we shouldn't be eating, but you're not going to come, to my house and nobody offer you any food. We're not going to sit and eat in front of you and watch you be hungry. That's a humanity thing. But anyway, one of the things I want y'all to kind of grasp from this video is that there's nothing wrong with, if that's how you feel you want to do it, splitting, sharing expenses, but there's always a good way and a fair way to do it. Go to my website and check out all the spreadsheets, all the information, and all the videos that help you with stuff like this. Take care. Bye.